Hey everybody, Sabri Subi here from King Kong, and today I just wanted to make this quick video for you, as it's almost every day that I kind of get an email from someone saying, hey man, like you talk a lot about, lead generation and using direct response sales copy to generate lots of leads, but you don't talk a lot about product-based businesses, and do you guys help product-based businesses? And look, while a lot of the work that we do at King Kong is kind of, aimed towards service-based businesses that do need to generate a lot of leads, we also work with hundreds of different types of product-based businesses as well. And we really use direct response sales copy as like a secret weapon to unlock a whole bunch of growth for those businesses. So I just wanted to put together this video for you and really dive into the specifics of a business that has used direct response sales copy to really blow up sales for their business and really unlock a whole new level of growth. If you're kind of watching this video right now and you've got a warehouse full of stock, or you're looking at kind of your business plan and seeing how you're going to kind of move the needle this year, then I've really put together this example for you and really a case study of how a business in the product line kind of just went from selling an everyday, boring, ordinary commodity product and use sales copy to really leverage that and just to kind of go out there and just dominate an industry and really create an industry that didn't exist with an everyday product. So I'm working from home today, so I'll go inside and I'll jump on the computer and I'll dive into this case study and show you the exact specifics and how you can model this for your own business. So let's just jump on it right now. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about pears, right? But not any pears. The delectable Royal Riviera pears. And we're going to be looking at a wildly successful direct response ad that built a fortune for Harry and David. So Harry and David is the name of the company that is selling these Royal Riviera pears. Now, this company first began operations in 1910 when a guy called Samuel Rosenberg purchased a 200-acre pear orchard in southern Oregon. Now, in 1914, Sam's two sons, Harry and David, took over management of this property and of this orchard, right? And after kind of the death of their father, that's when they kind of took the reins of this business after completing their university degree. Now, the brothers named these pears the Royal Riviera pears. So they took a somewhat commodity product like pears and they really kind of dressed it up and sounded really exclusive with the Royal Riviera name. And they focused on basically selling them to customers in Europe. Now, as their business continued to grow in the 1920s, the brothers built a packaging house and like a back-end infrastructure to prepare the pears to be shipped over long distances over to Europe. Now, it was kind of after doing that for a while that the brothers then decided, instead of shipping these pears over to Europe, that they could instead market them to customers here inside the United States. So first, they basically came up with a kind of who is our ideal prospects and where are they? And they came up with the idea that they were going to sell these pears not to everybody, but to businessmen. So they started running ads in Seattle, San Francisco, and also New York. Now, the brothers advertised in magazines and newspapers, with their very first ad appearing in Fortune magazine in 1936, right? Who would have thought, like, running a print ad selling a commodity product, like a consumable product, to businessmen in print advertising back in the 1930s. Now, the company kind of introduced after that into like Box of the Month plan that was later renamed the Rare Fruit Club. Again, dressing up the whole exclusivity to this thing by calling it the Rare Fruit Club. Now, how exactly did they go on to sell boxes of these Royal Riviera pears, right? It's a bit of a mouthful, that, to kind of go out there and sell it. Like, what was the mechanism? Well, I'm going to show you what that ad looks like right now, and it's the ad that you can see up on your screen. So this one ad, right? It basically started this small family-run business, just a 200-acre operation, and literally caused the demand so high that they had to expand their orchards several times over the years, resulting in the company now commanding 3,400 acres
of land in Oregon. So let's dive into this ad and talk about why it's so wild successful, what kind of sales did it generate for the business, and whatnot. So it starts off with saying a headline: "Imagine Harry and me advertising our pears in Fortune." So immediately it's coming across as personal. You know that it's written by the founder of the business, or certainly positioned in a way that it is, and it looks editorial, right? There's nothing crazy, no big prices or anything like that anywhere. It simply looks like an article, but they're also making the omission that it is an ad by saying, imagine us advertising in pears. But they've done it very cleverly where it's kind of like a slant, where it's like a feature. So I'm not going to read the entire ad, but I'll just skim through it and show you the parts that they do really, really well. So to start with, the lead-in copy, the most important copy of the ad to really suck people and grab them by the throat and then drag them into the sales message. So it starts off by saying, "Out here on the ranch, we don't pretend to know much about advertising. And maybe we're foolish spending the price of a tractor for this space. But my brother and I got an idea the other night, and we believe that you folks who read Fortune are the kind of folks who'd like to know about it. So here's our story. We have a beautiful orchard out here in the Rogue River Valley in Oregon, where the soil and the rain and the sun grow the finest pears in the world. We grow a good many varieties, but years ago we decided to specialize in a Royal Riviera pears, a rare, delicious variety originally imported from France and born commercially only by 20-year-old trees. And do you know where we sold our first crop? And the greater part of every crop since?" Now, this is where it really gets good. So immediately they've already got you engaged in this story, right? They're getting into the story, they're getting into the specifics of it, and they're really kind of pulling you in, and you want to know what happens next. It's a story-based ad. Do you know where we sold the greater part of every crop since? In Paris and London, where the finest hotels and restaurants know them to be the choicest delicacy that they can serve their discriminating guests. And they serve them at about 75 cents each. Our Royal Riviera pears went to other distinguished tables too, to the Caesar of Russia and to the kings and queens at first families of Europe. We got a great kick out of wrapping big, luscious, blushing Royal Riviera pears in tissue and knowing that they were going to be served on golden plates and eaten with golden spoons, right? Immediately, they're really like, I've highlighted this section because it's great, right? They're really kind of dialing up the exclusivity of a commodity product and really building the prestige into it, okay? Now, this next part. America's rarest fruits, shall we ship it abroad? Question mark. Sucks you back into the copy. Exactly what a subheadline is designed to do. But I'm not going to get away from my story, is how the ad goes on to say. The idea kept coming back to Harry and me was this. Why must all our fruit go to Europe? Aren't there people right here in America who would appreciate such rare delicacies just as much as royalty? Wouldn't our first families like to know that the luscious golden pears, rare as orchards bursting with juice, and so big that you could eat them with a spoon? Wouldn't folks here at home like to give boxes of these rare pears to friends and Thanksgivings and Christmas? So they're really starting to paint like a visceral reaction to this, that these pears are so big and juicy and luscious that you can eat them with a spoon. And then they go on in this next section of the ad to just stack the social proof like crazy. In this section that reads, well, a banker wanted not only a box for home, but 50 boxes to be sent to business friends to arrive just before Christmas. A newspaper publisher wanted 40 for the same purpose, and a manufacturer asked for 25. And that gave us another idea. We sent 11 sample boxes to important executives in New York. And back came orders for 489 Christmas boxes for their friends. So they're really kind of talking about like bankers and publishers and, really executive business people ordering these and really planting it in your mind that there's a lot of people doing this and there's lots of social proof. Then this next section that is probably my most favorite part of the ad, and it's brilliant. So, and this is where they really start to kind of paint the picture and really kind of get you involved in it, where they say, right now, as I write this, it is late September, and out here in this beautiful valley, our Royal Riviera pears are hanging like great pendants from those 40-year-old trees. We'll have to watch them like new babies from now until picking time. Not a leaf must touch them towards the last. Trained men will pick them gently with gloved hands and lay them carefully in padded trays. They'll be individually wrapped in tissue, nestled in cushioned packaging, and sent in handsome gift boxes. It just goes on and really just builds up the exclusivity like crazy. They've done a great job. And then to kind of keep this brief and not read the entire thing, then it goes on and basically, the last kind of lead capture section, this is amazing because it really dials up the urgency. So you're reading this, you're thinking, wow, these pairs sound great. And again, this is, a direct response ad, right? So it has all those elements in there. And this is where they really kind of close the deal and basically put urgency in and really get you to go and get the reader to kind of act. Just one more thing. There are more folks reading Fortune than there will be boxes of Royal Riviera pears this year. So if you want to be sure to get some, we hope you'll send your order right along. We are putting a coupon down below, but a letter is just as good. Only if you write, please say that you saw this ad in Fortune. Right? So it's amazing, right? We take things like Google Analytics for granted, but they're even trying to basically get the attribution right in terms of where their sales are coming from. Because as I mentioned, they ran this ad not only in Fortune, but in Time and National Geographic and a whole bunch of other ads. So how did this ad do? Well, I'll tell you how it did, right? It took this family-run farm, like a mom and pop business, and turned it into a wildly successful company with revenues of more than $400 million per year. Okay. Harry and David then went on to basically sell this business. And look, the buyers that got it they failed to adopt the digital times and the business got into a bit of problems. But also later on, 1-800-Flowers.com went on to basically buy this business, and they're an e-commerce powerhouse, and they're really starting to kind of ramp up their digital strategy. And really what I wanted to kind of put this ad together for you for is really to kind of illustrate that, you are all just one sales message away to literally transforming your business or transforming your life. This one ad, literally this one ad built this small mom and pop 200-acre business to a company doing over $400 million in selling boxes of pears through print advertising back in the 1930s. So that's not like a very, very good, clear example of, how one sales message, one ad, one funnel can really change everything for you, then I don't know, what is. So I'm also going to be including this ad for you in a PDF form below. If you like this kind of content and you're getting a lot of value out of this, please drop a comment in the section below to let me know, and I'll keep putting this stuff together for you guys. That's it from me. Have a great day.